Hello everyone, and welcome to IMC 412. In this lecture, we will explore information science professionals, and the information industry. This topic is important because information is everywhere in our daily lives. Every time we search for information online, access digital documents, or use an information system, there is a professional role behind it. As first semester students, you may still be new to this field, but this lecture will help you understand the big picture, what information science is about, what kinds of professions exist, and how your studies connect to real-world work. Think of this lecture as a roadmap that shows where information science can take you academically and professionally. Before we begin, let me briefly explain how this lecture is structured. We will start with an introduction to information science professions and then move on to clear definitions of information science professions and professionals. After that, we will examine the categories of information science professions and the academic disciplines that support them. We will also discuss the roles, characteristics, qualifications, skills, and competencies of information science professionals. Finally, we will look at training requirements, the information industry, and the challenges faced by information professionals today. By the end of this lecture, you should be able to clearly explain what information science professions are and how they relate to your course. Information is a critical organizational resource. For example, organizations store customer information, employee records, transaction data, reports, and digital documents. All of these are forms of information. If information is not managed properly, it can be lost, duplicated, misunderstood, or misused. This can lead to poor decisions and serious problems. Information science professions exist to manage information systematically and responsibly. When you use an organized system to search for documents, retrieve stored files, or access digital content, that system did not appear by accident. Information professionals planned how information is stored, structured, and accessed so that users can find what they need efficiently. Information science professions refer to professional work related to selecting, organizing, preserving, and disseminating information. Selecting information means deciding what information is important enough to keep. For example, not every document or message needs to be stored permanently. Organizing information means arranging it into categories or systems so it can be found easily later. Preserving information means protecting important information so it remains usable in the future, such as storing digital records securely. Disseminating information means sharing information with users, for example through digital platforms or information systems. These activities require specialized knowledge, skills, and experience, which is why information science is a professional field. An information science professional is someone who uses information strategically to support an organization's goals. For example, a records manager ensures important documents can be retrieved when needed. A content manager ensures digital content is accurate, organized, and updated. A data analyst studies data to identify patterns that support decision-making. Although these professionals have different job titles, they share the same responsibility: managing information so it is reliable, accessible, and useful. Technology is an important tool in their work, but professional judgment and information expertise are just as important. Information science professions can be grouped into four main categories. These categories help us understand that not all information professionals do the same type of work. Some professionals focus on understanding how information works in theory. Others focus on designing systems. Some focus on helping users, while others focus on technology. Together, these categories form a complete information environment where different roles support one another. Understanding these categories helps you see the wide range of career paths available in information science. First, information theorists or information scientists focus on the theoretical foundations of information. They study laws, theories, philosophy, and sociology related to information. For example, they may study how people search for information, why some systems are easy to use, or how information influences behavior. They also work with concepts related to information acquisition, transmission, and processing. Although they may not always interact directly with users, their research helps improve how information systems and services are designed and used. Second, information systems specialists focus on solving information problems using systems. They analyze how information is currently managed and identify weaknesses. For example, if users struggle to find information in a system, the problem may be poor system design. Information systems specialists design databases, systems, or networks that store, organize, and retrieve information more efficiently. Their work ensures that information systems are structured, reliable, and user-friendly. Third, information intermediaries work between users and information. Their main role is to help users identify what information they need and guide them to suitable sources. For example, when someone does not know where to find reliable information, an information intermediary helps by suggesting appropriate sources or search strategies. They may also help users evaluate information quality and relevance. This role is highly user-centered and focuses on communication and support. Finally, information technologists focus on the technology behind information services. They operate, maintain, and control information systems such as databases and digital platforms. For example, when a system is slow, unavailable, or not functioning properly, information technologists work to fix the problem. Their work ensures that users can access information smoothly, securely, and reliably. Information science is an interdisciplinary field, which means it does not stand alone as a single subject. Instead, it is built by combining knowledge from several academic disciplines, each contributing a different but equally important role. First, computer science contributes programming, databases, and data processing skills. This discipline makes information systems work technically. For example, when you search for information online and get results in seconds, computer science is responsible for the software, algorithms, and system performance behind that process. Next, library and information science focuses on organizing and retrieving information. This discipline ensures information is structured, classified, and searchable. Even the most advanced system is useless if information is not organized properly. Library and information science helps users find the right information, not just any information. Then, communication science supports effective information dissemination. It focuses on how information is presented, shared, and understood by users. This discipline helps ensure that information is clear, meaningful, and suitable for different audiences, whether through websites, reports, or digital platforms. Engineering contributes communication systems and technical infrastructure. It supports networks, servers, and data transmission systems that allow information to move reliably from one place to another. Without engineering, large-scale information systems would not function efficiently or securely. Finally, business and management supports decision-making and information systems. It ensures that information is used strategically to support planning, operations, and organizational goals. This discipline connects information to real-world decisions and performance. Together, these disciplines form the academic foundation of information science professions, enabling professionals to manage information effectively across technology, people, and organizations. In information science, the body of knowledge is built through different activities that involve handling, processing, and using information. Information professionals do not only store information, they add value by performing specific roles that transform information into knowledge. One role is as a transporter of information. This involves moving information from one place to another without changing its content. For example, in the oil and gas industry, daily operational reports are transferred from offshore sites to onshore management teams to ensure timely access to critical information. Another role is the transformer of information. Here, information is changed into a more useful format. For instance, raw drilling or production data in oil and gas operations is transformed into graphs or dashboards so engineers and managers can understand performance quickly. Information professionals also act as interpreters of information. This role focuses on explaining complex information so it can be understood by different users. In oil and gas organizations, technical data or safety procedures may be interpreted and simplified for non-technical staff or decision-makers. They also function as analyzers of information. This involves examining information to identify patterns, trends, or risks. For example, oil and gas companies analyze accident reports and equipment failure data to improve safety and operational efficiency. Another important role is as an original creator of information. Information professionals may produce new reports, guidelines, or best practice documents. In the oil and gas sector, this could include creating new safety manuals or operational procedures based on lessons learned. Some activities involve routine processing of information. These are regular tasks such as recording data, updating systems, and organizing documents. In oil and gas operations, this includes maintaining technical documentation, inspection records, and compliance data. Finally, information professionals act as managerial processors of information. This role focuses on planning, controlling, and governing information use. For example, oil and gas organizations decide who can access sensitive exploration data, how long information should be kept, and how it supports strategic decisions. Together, these activities show how information is transformed into knowledge, forming the foundation of the body of knowledge across industries. Information science professionals play many important roles in managing and using information effectively. Their work goes beyond keeping information. They ensure information is useful, reliable, and valuable for individuals and organizations. One key role is to study users' information needs. This means understanding what information users need, why they need it, and how they prefer to access it. For example, students may need academic articles, while managers may need summaries and reports. By understanding users, information professionals can provide the right information at the right time. Another important role is to design information management systems. This involves planning how information is stored, organized, accessed, and protected. Information professionals help design systems that are easy to use, efficient, and reliable. They also select, assemble, analyze, and process information. This means choosing relevant information, combining it from different sources, analyzing it, and presenting it in a meaningful way. The goal is to turn scattered information into useful knowledge. Information science professionals are also responsible for managing and evaluating databases. They ensure databases are accurate, updated, secure, and useful. They also evaluate whether databases meet users' needs and organizational goals. Another role is to develop information networks. This includes connecting systems, people, and information resources so information can flow smoothly across departments or organizations. Information networks support sharing, collaboration, and access. In addition to these core roles, there are additional professional roles that add value to information services. One of these is to transform information into resources or commodities. This means packaging information into products such as reports, datasets, or digital services that can support decision-making or create value. Information professionals also train information workers. They teach users how to search, evaluate, and use information effectively, helping to improve information literacy and skills. Finally, they apply and maintain computerized library systems. This includes managing digital catalogs, online databases, and automated systems that support information access in modern environments. Together, these roles show that information science professionals are information facilitators, system designers, analysts, educators, and managers, playing a vital role in today's information-driven society. Information science professionals are not defined only by their technical skills. They are also recognized by a set of personal and professional characteristics that enable them to work effectively in information-rich environments. First, professionals are creative and innovative. They constantly look for new ways to organize, present, and use information. For example, instead of relying on traditional methods, they may design new digital platforms, dashboards, or services that improve access and user experience. They are also active and proactive. This means they do not wait for problems to occur. Instead, they anticipate information needs, identify gaps, and take initiative to improve systems and services before issues arise. Another important characteristic is being responsible and accountable. Professionals handle sensitive and valuable information, so they must ensure accuracy, privacy, security, and ethical use. They are accountable for how information is stored, shared, and used. Professionals are also research-oriented. They rely on evidence, data, and systematic investigation to improve information services. This includes evaluating systems, studying user behavior, and applying research findings to practice. Leadership qualities are also essential. Professionals often guide teams, manage projects, and advise decision-makers on information-related matters. They lead by setting standards, promoting best practices, and supporting collaboration. Finally, professionals must be adaptable to technological change. Information technologies evolve rapidly, so professionals need to continuously learn and adjust. They must be open to new systems, tools, and digital environments to remain relevant and effective. Together, these characteristics show that information science professionals are innovators, problem solvers, leaders, and lifelong learners, well equipped to operate in a dynamic and information-driven world. Professional competencies refer to the core abilities and skills that information science professionals must have in order to perform their roles effectively. These competencies focus on how information is managed, organized, delivered, and supported using appropriate tools and technologies. The first competency is managing information resources. This involves identifying, selecting, acquiring, and maintaining different types of information resources, such as documents, databases, digital content, and records. Information professionals ensure that resources are relevant, reliable, up-to-date, and accessible to users. The second competency is managing information organization. This refers to how information is structured so it can be easily found and used. It includes classification, indexing, metadata creation, and the use of standards. Without proper organization, information may exist but remain difficult to retrieve or understand. Another key competency is managing information services. This focuses on delivering information to users in an effective and user-centered way. Information professionals design, implement, and evaluate services such as reference services, digital platforms, and information support systems to meet user needs and expectations. The final competency is applying information tools and technologies. This involves using software, databases, information systems, and digital tools to manage and deliver information. Information professionals must be comfortable with technology and able to adapt to new tools as information environments continue to evolve. Together, these professional competencies enable information science professionals to manage information systematically, support users effectively, and add value through technology, ensuring that information contributes meaningfully to learning, decision-making, and organizational success. In addition to professional skills, information science professionals must also develop personal and core competencies. These competencies shape how they communicate, behave, and contribute to their organizations and society. Personal competencies. First, communication skills are essential. Information professionals must communicate clearly with users, colleagues, and stakeholders. This includes explaining information needs, presenting findings, and providing guidance in a way that is easy to understand. Good communication ensures information is used effectively, not misunderstood. Next are positive attitudes and values. Information professionals are expected to be responsible, ethical, and service-oriented. A positive attitude helps them support users patiently, work well in teams, and handle challenges professionally. Values such as honesty, respect, and integrity are especially important when dealing with information. Another key personal competency is flexibility in changing environments. Information environments change rapidly due to new technologies, policies, and user expectations. Information professionals must be open to change, willing to learn, and able to adapt their skills to new situations. Core competencies. One important core competency is knowledge sharing and research. Information professionals are not only information users but also contributors to knowledge. They share expertise, support learning, conduct research, and apply evidence to improve information services and systems. The final core competency is professional ethics. This includes respecting privacy, ensuring data confidentiality, protecting intellectual property, and providing fair access to information. Ethical practice builds trust and ensures information is managed responsibly. Together, these personal and core competencies ensure that information science professionals are not only technically capable, but also ethical, adaptable, communicative, and committed to knowledge sharing in a dynamic information society. Information science graduates can work in many professional roles, not limited to traditional libraries. These professions reflect how information is managed, analyzed, and used in different environments. One common profession is the librarian or system librarian. A librarian manages information resources and supports users in finding and using information. A system librarian focuses more on digital systems, such as online catalogs, databases, and library management systems. Their role combines information organization with technology. Another profession is the information analyst. Information analysts examine data and information to identify patterns, trends, and insights. They help organizations make better decisions by turning raw information into meaningful analysis, reports, or summaries. An information broker works with information as a valuable resource. This professional searches for, gathers, and supplies specialized information to clients who need it for decision-making. Information brokers often work independently or in consultancy-based environments, providing customized information services. Next is the information consultant. Information consultants advise organizations on how to manage information effectively. They may recommend systems, policies, or strategies to improve information access, efficiency, and governance. An information manager focuses on overseeing information resources at an organizational level. This role includes planning, coordinating, and controlling information systems to support organizational goals. Information managers ensure that information is accurate, secure, and aligned with strategic needs. Finally, records or document managers are responsible for managing organizational records and documents throughout their lifecycle. This includes creation, storage, access, retention, and disposal of records. Their work is critical for accountability, compliance, and organizational memory. Together, these professions show that information science graduates can work as information organizers, analysts, consultants, managers, and strategists, supporting information use across many sectors. In addition to general information science roles, there are also specialized professions that require information expertise combined with domain-specific knowledge. These roles exist because different sectors have unique information needs. One example is a law librarian. Law librarians manage legal information such as laws, cases, and legal databases. They support lawyers, judges, and students by helping them locate accurate and up-to-date legal information efficiently. Another specialized role is the medical librarian. Medical librarians work in healthcare or research environments, supporting doctors, nurses, and researchers. They provide access to medical research, clinical guidelines, and evidence-based information to support patient care and medical decisions. A school librarian focuses on supporting teaching and learning in schools. This role involves managing learning resources, promoting reading, and helping students develop information literacy skills from an early age. A knowledge management officer works with organizational knowledge rather than only documents. This professional captures, organizes, and shares knowledge within an organization so that experience and expertise are not lost and can be reused. Another role is the research officer. Research officers support research activities by managing data, conducting literature reviews, analyzing findings, and preparing reports. They play an important role in ensuring research quality and accuracy. A system analyst applies information science knowledge to analyze and design information systems. They study user requirements and ensure that systems meet organizational needs efficiently and effectively. A web programmer focuses on developing and maintaining websites and web-based information systems. This role combines technical skills with an understanding of how users search for and interact with information online. Finally, a content manager is responsible for creating, organizing, and maintaining digital content. This includes websites, portals, and digital platforms, ensuring that information is accurate, consistent, and user-friendly. Together, these specialized professions show that information science graduates can work across law, healthcare, education, research, technology, and digital content environments, demonstrating the flexibility and relevance of information science as a field. Training is essential for information science professionals because the information environment is constantly changing. To remain relevant and effective, information professionals must continuously update their knowledge and skills. First, training focuses on the acquisition of new skills, also known as relearning. Information professionals cannot rely only on what they learned during their studies. They must continuously learn new methods, tools, and practices as information needs, technologies, and user expectations evolve. Second, training emphasizes IT-based and online services. Modern information services are increasingly digital. Information professionals must be trained to use online databases, digital platforms, cloud systems, and virtual service tools to support users anytime and anywhere. Another important area is infrastructure changes. As organizations move from manual systems to digital and automated systems, information professionals must understand how new infrastructures work. This includes digital repositories, network systems, and integrated information platforms that support information access and storage. Training also includes policy and regulatory awareness. Information professionals must understand laws, policies, and regulations related to information, such as data protection, privacy, intellectual property, and records management. This knowledge ensures that information is managed legally, ethically, and responsibly. Finally, training covers preservation and fee-based services. Information professionals must learn how to preserve information resources for long-term access, especially digital materials. They also need skills to manage value-added and fee-based information services, where information is provided as a professional or commercial service. Overall, training helps information science professionals become lifelong learners, ensuring they can adapt to change, support users effectively, and contribute meaningfully in a dynamic information society. The information industry plays a vital role in supporting education, business, government, and society. However, as the information environment evolves, the industry also faces several important challenges. One major challenge is the identification of new user information needs. User expectations are constantly changing due to technology, social media, and digital lifestyles. Information professionals must continuously study user behavior to ensure that information services remain relevant and useful. Another challenge is over-dependence on IT experts. While technology is essential, relying too heavily on technical experts may weaken the role of information science professionals. Information professionals must strengthen their own technological understanding so they can collaborate effectively and maintain professional relevance. The industry also faces professional identity challenges. Many people still associate information work only with traditional libraries. This narrow perception makes it difficult for information science professionals to be recognized in broader sectors such as business, technology, and analytics. A further challenge is balancing social obligations versus profit. Information services often aim to serve the public good by providing access to knowledge. At the same time, organizations may face pressure to generate revenue through fee-based or commercial services. Balancing these two goals is a constant challenge. Copyright and legal issues also affect the information industry. Digital copying, sharing, and online access raise concerns about intellectual property rights, privacy, and legal compliance. Information professionals must ensure that information use respects laws and ethical standards. Finally, the industry operates in digital, hybrid, and virtual environments. Information services are no longer limited to physical spaces. Professionals must manage information across physical collections, digital platforms, and virtual services, requiring new skills and flexible approaches. Overall, these challenges show that the information industry is dynamic and complex, requiring information science professionals to be adaptable, ethical, and continuously prepared for change. In conclusion, information science professions are diverse and interdisciplinary. They are not limited to one sector or job role but draw knowledge from multiple disciplines such as technology, management, communication, and research. This diversity allows information science professionals to work across many industries. Information professionals also play both strategic and operational roles. At the operational level, they manage information resources, systems, and services. At the strategic level, they support decision-making, knowledge management, and organizational goals. This shows that information work is not only technical, but also critical to leadership and planning. To perform these roles effectively, skills, competencies, and continuous training are essential. Information professionals must develop technical skills, professional competencies, and personal values. Lifelong learning is necessary to keep up with new technologies, policies, and user expectations. Finally, the information industry continues to evolve. Digital transformation, legal challenges, and changing user needs will continue to shape the profession. This means information science professionals must remain adaptable, ethical, and forward-looking. Overall, information science offers a dynamic and future-oriented career path, where professionals play an important role in shaping how information supports learning, innovation, and society.